Hello, this is Siddharth Tambar from Chicago Arthritis and Regenerative Medicine. Today is April 9th, 2020. I want to give you guys an update in terms of what we're doing. We're doing a lot, and there's a lot of kind of interesting and exciting things that we're trying to do to help continue to serve patients and clients who are counting on us, whether that's existing ones or new ones. I think what's really interesting in this time is we're doing so much more remote work that I feel like even though we have less patient flow that we're doing right now, from a business operational standpoint, we're actually doing dramatically more. And that's in large part because the rest of my team is so busy behind the scenes trying to coordinate things in a way that requires so much more sophistication and effort and diligence than when people are traditionally coming into the office. So we're actually surprisingly on a work level, business operational level, actually probably more busy than like a regular office day. With that said, there's a couple of things that have come up that I've noticed with the telemed evaluation process that I think is interesting, that I think it's worthwhile for people to hear about and for patients to understand that we're dealing with, and what are some of our solutions to some of those things. So there's a couple of really basic ones on a personal level. As an example, normally in the office, I'm sort of jumping from room to room, going in front of the office, back to the office, kind of back and forth, staying pretty physically active. And now it's a lot more just sitting in front of the computer and starting to recognize, posture, neck, shoulder, lower back kind of mild discomfort and stiffness. And great reminder that even though all of us, our normal rhythms are off, how important it is to still try to do all the correct healthy things that are meant to really take care of yourself, whether that's stretching, exercises, motion, range of motion, flexibility, dietary things, hydration. I'm constantly forgetting about that, but now, every single one of those things is so key. So all the basics, make sure you take care of those things for yourself. Number two, we're busier because we are trying to not only help our existing patients, we're busier because we're trying to help newer patients that have musculoskeletal issues. And we're even busier because we're trying to help out a couple other physicians who've had to kind of shut down their clinic, and they still have patients that have a need that we're trying to sort of fill in the gap with. And it's interesting, in a musculoskeletal practice, we're so heavily dependent on physical exam and manual kind of based things. And the telemedicine approach, you can do a lot of this based on history, things that you can see visually, having people go through range of motion with things, and looking at their records, labs, imaging, all that kind of stuff. There's still a little bit of a gap. And so how do you bridge that gap? Regenix has some really smart ideas about how to do this. And these are things that we are starting to roll out with their assistance and guidance. The first is they have a pretty very well thought out telehealth platform or site where after new patients sign up, and even existing patients, quite frankly, they can go through a set of videos where they can actually do some of their own self-evaluation with some basic testing, range of motion, some basic strength testing, and then record it, or then at least report it. And then when you actually have your evaluation with the physician, you can then get that kind of feedback. Meaning it is in a way for a physician, with the assistance of the patient, a way of getting some degree of a physical exam. The other thing is there are still some patients that you still need to see in the office. So while essentially 100% of our follow-ups and news right now are telemed, there's still occasions where you need to see patients. I'm in the office right now because we do still have infusion patients that need treatments, and we're still available for them for those purposes. So a really smart thing that I'm going to be talking more about in the next week or two is how are we creating an atmosphere that is meant to be maximally safe for patients and COVID-free. Without getting into all the details, it's going to involve some basic things in terms of obvious cleanliness that really any physician office is doing. But it's going to also involve a couple other things. It's going to involve the idea of a virtual waiting room where patients don't necessarily come in until we're really sure it's safe for them to come in. And number two, doing some antibody testing for patients where we can get results within 15 minutes to determine whether it's safe for them to come in or not. It's exciting stuff. This is a plan that Chris Centeno from Regenix has developed, and I think it's incredibly cutting edge and will allow us to help to continue taking care of patients. So some exciting and interesting things to look forward to that are coming up. And look forward to updating you guys as we sort of hammer out some of those details. And hope everyone is trying to stay safe, healthy, and I will continue to update and let me know your thoughts. And please continue to follow all the public health guidelines in terms of sheltering down and stay safe and healthy. All right. Have a good day and live well. Bye-bye.